pretty windy today. What we're going to be doing is testing the Mavic 3 to see how well it holds up in some pretty intense winds. We're talking 20-30 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts up in the 40s. What we're going to be looking at is how well the camera on the Mavic 3 can stabilize, or I guess the gimbal is doing the stabilization, to see how well that footage will look despite these winds. Now the Mavic 3 is rated at 26.8 miles an hour sustained winds and 45 kilometers per hour, and the winds today are definitely above that, especially the gusts. So let's get this thing up in the air and see how it fares. Now the Mavic 3 has a sustained wind tolerance of 26.8 miles per hour. I believe that's 43 kilometers per hour. And it's doing a pretty good job right now, even with those gusts kicking in. And you can see the drone is moving a bit. I kind of just have it hovering here. I'm not touching the sticks at all, so it is just hovering in place. And we're going to take a look here at what the drone's camera is seeing, because judging by, the drone moving around, compensating for the pretty strong winds, all that movement on the drone's frame and everything like that, we're going to see how well that gimbal is stabilizing the footage, and hopefully my props won't end up hitting that flag, because that would be not great for the drone's airworthiness. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Mavic's camera to see how well that camera can stabilize this footage in this wind. Okay, here we are. So taking a look, wow, it is pretty stable, and you can see those trees behind me are really moving with this wind. And despite those heavy winds, the Mavic's camera is really doing a good job of keeping that frame nice and still. The only way you can really notice anything, I guess, is if you look at the very edges up in the corners maybe. It's just doing a really good job holding that steady, and that flag still is blowing. You can again see those trees behind me. So even in heavy wind conditions like this, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour winds with gusts, sustained winds kind of kicking up like that, you can count on the Mavic 3 to do a really good job of stabilizing your footage. Now, I'm not getting any wind warnings or wind velocity warnings on this end yet. So what I'm going to do next here is increase the altitude of this drone. Right now I'm only 6 feet off the ground. Let's bring it up into the air and see what it does with some even higher winds when those wind velocity warnings kick in. So let's go ahead and bring this thing up in the sky. Okay, we're up at about 120 feet. I have not gotten any, oh there it is, strong wind warning. Aircraft unable to return to home. It's red, not good. But the camera picture looks great. Again, these warnings are really popping up here on my controller. But the camera feed looks great, it's still recording. And again, it said it's not able to return to home automatically. I'm fine with that, but just wanted to see how well the camera can still stabilize with the gimbal holding that camera nice and still despite this strong wind. So let me turn the camera here, take a look at something else. Still rock solid. Strong wind warning still popping up here.
Lower altitude immediately.
I'm only a little bit worried here, so I'm not going to go up any higher. And my controller's vibrating like crazy, so yeah, let's bring her down. Looks like I lost my flag. Let's go find it. There it is. Drone is fine. The flag looks like it's salvageable. I'll just have to walk and go get that. Sheesh, it is windy. What I'm doing here is moving a bit. So the drone is in motion going into these winds, and they are really blowing. So we're going to take a look at how well the camera can stabilize despite flying into these prevailing winds, headwinds, I don't know the terminology, winds. Okay, I really see the drone is getting knocked around. Curious to see. I'm not even looking at the controller at this point. I am just flying line of sight. The drone is just getting ragdolled around in the sky here. I still have control of it. Struggling to talk with this wind blowing in my face. We're dealing with some gusts right now that are just kind of keeping up. Holy crap. All right. You could probably hear it in the mic. I'm using the Rode mic, Video Mic Pro, by the way. Okay. Overall, not bad. I'm taking a look at the controller now. Seems to be holding up. I'm pretty impressed. Mavic 3 can definitely take these winds, even if they're over that 26.8 miles an hour, 43 kilometers per hour. This thing is a beast. Not struggling at all. I didn't get any wind velocity warnings here at ground level, 6 to 20 feet up in the air. But as soon as I popped up to 100 feet altitude, my controller was vibrating. Those red warnings were all over the place. So we're gonna set her down now, and this thing is gonna live to see another day. I'm a little bit worried to do this with how crazy these winds were, but man, confidence boosted. This thing can take it. Mavic 3, everyone. Give her a round of applause. Okay, that is a wrap. Mavic 3, very impressive in the wind. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing. Helps out the channel. This is not something I do for a living. It's not a job. This is something I do for fun. I enjoy it. I think drones are a ton of fun. So I'll catch you in the next video. Again, thanks for watching.